The email subject line read, "Promotion decision." I'd been waiting 3 years for this moment. 3 years of late nights, weekends, covering for my boss's mistakes. My hand was shaking as I clicked it open. After careful consideration, we've decided to go with another candidate. That's when I realized something. Loyalty? It meant nothing here. Hard work? Irrelevant. I was just a number on a spreadsheet they refused to increase. But here's what they didn't know. That rejection email, it wasn't the end of my story. It was the beginning of theirs. Because 6 months later, I walked out of that building with a job offer worth more than double my salary. And I built every single skill that got me there on their time. On their dime. Using their resources. This is the story of how I turned corporate betrayal into the sweetest professional revenge I've ever tasted. Let me take you back to where this all started. 4 years ago, I walked into that office as a junior analyst. Bright-eyed, eager. I actually believed that hard work would be rewarded. My boss, let's call him David, seemed like a mentor at first. He praised my work, told me I had real potential, said if I kept this up, I'd be managing my own team within 2 years. I believed him, so I did everything right. I stayed late when projects needed finishing. I came in early to prep presentations. When David made mistakes in his reports, and trust me, he made a lot, I'd quietly fix them before they reached the executives. I covered for him when he was working from home, which usually meant golfing with clients he never closed deals with. And every year, during review season, he'd sit across from me with that same sympathetic smile and say, "But doing great work. But budgets are tight this year. Let's revisit this in 6 months." 6 months became a year. A year became 2. Then 3. By year 3, I wasn't just frustrated. I was exhausted. Burnout. I watched people who did half my work get promoted because they played golf with the right people, because they knew how to schmooze in meetings. And me? I was the workhorse. Reliable. Invisible. Then came the breaking point. Our team lead position opened up. It was perfect for me. I had more experience than anyone else on the team. I've been doing half the role's responsibilities already without the title or the pay. David pulled me aside one afternoon, put his hand on my shoulder like we were old friends. "I'm putting you forward for this," he said. "You've earned it. I'm going to fight for you." I actually believed him. Again, for 2 months, I waited. I prepped for interviews that never came. I stayed late, thinking it would show my commitment. And then that email arrived. After careful consideration, we've decided to go with another candidate. Not even a phone call. Not even a face-to-face explanation. Just a cold, corporate rejection email. I sat at my desk, staring at that screen, and I felt something shift inside me. Not sadness. Not disappointment. Clarity. I realized I'd been playing the wrong game. I've been waiting for them to see my value. But they never would, because keeping me underpaid and overworked was more profitable than rewarding me. So I stopped waiting for their permission, and I started planning my exit. But I wasn't going to just quit. That would have been too easy, too forgiving. No, I was going to make them regret every broken promise, every dismissive comment. Every year, they refused to pay me what I was worth, and I was going to do it using their own resources. The next morning, I walked into that office different. On the outside, I looked the same. Same desk, same smile in meetings, same reliable employee. But on the inside, I was already gone. I spent my first week doing research. I looked at job postings for roles I actually wanted, positions that paid what I deserved. And I made a list of every skill gap I had. Cloud computing certifications, data visualization tools, project management frameworks, advanced Excel and Python, presentation skills for executive audiences. Then I did something brilliant. I started finding ways to build those skills on company time. See, here's what people don't realize. Most companies have training budgets they barely use. LinkedIn learning subscriptions, Udemy accounts, conference allowances. I went to David and framed it perfectly. "Hey David, I've been thinking about how I can add more value to the team. I found some courses on data analytics and cloud platforms that could really help with our upcoming projects. Mind if I expense them?" He barely looked up from his phone. "Yeah, sure. Whatever helps the team." He had no idea what he just approved. For the next 6 months, I became a ghost. Physically present, mentally gone. I'd show up to meetings, nod along, do the bare minimum to keep my projects moving. But every spare moment, I was learning. During lunch breaks, I took online courses on AWS certification. In the mornings before anyone else arrived, I built data dashboards and portfolios. During those long afternoon lulls when David was in pointless meetings, I watched tutorials on Tableau and Power BI. I even signed up for a leadership workshop, fully expensed, of course, that taught me how to negotiate salaries and present my value in interviews. And the beautiful part? Nobody noticed. To them, I was still the same dependable worker. Quiet, efficient, not going anywhere. But I was building an escape plan they couldn't see. Some nights, I'll admit, it was exhausting. I'd come home drained from pretending everything was fine. From smiling at David when he'd make comments like, "You're such a team player," without a hint of irony. But every time I felt like giving up, I'd remember that rejection email. I'd remember every broken promise, every dismissive meeting, and I'd keep going. By month 4, I had 3 new certifications, a portfolio of projects that showcase skills way beyond my current role, and a LinkedIn profile that was starting to get recruiter attention. By month 5, I was getting interview requests, real ones, from companies that actually valued growth. And by month 6, I had an offer letter sitting in my inbox, but I didn't accept it right away because there was one more thing I needed to do, something that would make this whole thing feel complete. I needed to watch them realize what they lost. The offer was from a competitor, a better company with a reputation for actually promoting from within. And the salary? It was 120% more than what I was currently making, more than double, for doing similar work, just at a company that actually valued talent. I accepted it, but I didn't tell anyone at work. Not yet. I waited until I had my start date confirmed, until the background check cleared, until everything was locked in and couldn't be taken away. And then I scheduled a meeting with David. I walked into his office on a Tuesday afternoon. He was half paying paying attention, scrolling through emails on his phone. Hey, David, got a minute? Yeah, what's up? I slid my resignation letter across his desk. The look on his face? I wish I could have taken a picture. He actually blinked. Twice. Like he couldn't process what he was seeing. Wait, you're quitting? Yeah, I got an offer I can't refuse. He leaned back in his chair, trying to look casual, but I could see it. The panic starting to creep in. What kind of offer? Maybe we can match it. I smiled. Not a warm smile. The kind of smile you give someone when you know you've already won. It's more than double what you pay me. And they're giving me the title you refused to promote me to 3 times. He didn't say anything for a moment. Just stared. Look, he finally said, I know we've had some budget constraints, but you're valuable here. Let me talk to leadership. We can figure something out. And here's the thing. A year ago, I would have considered it. I would have felt guilty. Maybe even stayed for a counteroffer. But not anymore. I appreciate the offer, David, but I made my decision. My last day is in 2 weeks. As I walked out his office, I felt lighter than I had in years. Over the next 2 weeks, watching everything unfold was surreal. David suddenly became interested in my workload. HR scrambled to cross-train someone on my projects. The executives, who barely knew my name, were suddenly asking me to document everything I did. Funny how quickly you become essential the moment you're leaving. On my last day, a few coworkers took me out for lunch. They asked how I managed to land such a big opportunity. I kept it vague, smiled, said I got lucky. But one of them, a friend who'd been in the trenches with me, pulled me aside afterward. You planned this, didn't you? She said. You knew exactly what you were doing. I nodded. Every single step. She smiled. Good. They deserved it. When I walked out of that building for the last time, I didn't look back. I didn't feel bitter or angry anymore. I just felt free. And 3 weeks later, when I started at my new company, something interesting happened. I got a LinkedIn message from David. Hey, hope the new role is going well. Just wanted to say you missed here. The team's struggling without you. I read it twice, and then I closed it without responding because some messages don't deserve replies. So here's what I learned from all of this. Corporate loyalty is a one-way street. Companies will tell you to be patient, to wait your turn, to prove yourself over and over. But the truth, they'll only pay you what you're willing to accept. If you're waiting for them to recognize your value, you're going to be waiting forever. Because it's not about what you're worth. It's about what they can get away with paying you. But here's the good news. You have more power than you think. You can use their resources, their training budgets, their time to build the skills that will get you out. You can be strategic, patient, calculated, and when you're ready, you can walk away on your terms with an offer they could never match to a place that actually values you. Was it revenge? Maybe, but it was also justice. For every broken promise, every dismissive comment, every year they took my work for granted. I didn't burn bridges. I didn't trash talk them online. I didn't do anything unethical. I just left them behind. And now I'm thriving. I'm working with people who respect my skills, who invest in my growth, who actually mean it when they say you have potential. So if you're in a job that doesn't value you, remember this. You don't need their permission to level up. You don't need their approval to invest in yourself. You just need a plan and the patience to execute it, because the best revenge isn't anger. It's not bitterness. It's success they can't take credit for. If this story resonated with you, or if you've ever felt undervalued at work, drop a comment below. I read every single one. And if you want to hear about the time a coworker tried to take credit for my biggest project and how I made sure everyone knew the truth, that story's even better. I'll see you in the next one.